I went to my bed last night at around 7:05 p.m. Jamaica time, just after Jeopardy had finished, so that I would get approximately 3.5, 4 hours sleep and wake up to watch the match starting at 11 p.m. Jamaica time. Although some media houses in Jamaica were reporting that the match was going to start at 7:30, 11:30. Thankfully, though, you have the cricket forum would have told you that it would have started at 7. But I digress. I woke up around 5 minutes to 10. I tried to force myself back to sleep, but I was unable to do so. So the toss was spun at 25 minutes to 11. West Indies won the toss. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the #1 cricket channel in the Caribbean. I thank you for being here. I appreciate your company, and I hope that we will have an intellectual dialogue this morning. For I really appreciate when we do. West Indies won the toss, and Ruston Chase reasoned that although there's moisture in the pitch, he doesn't want to bat last on that pitch, so he's going to bat first. Whether you agree with the decision or not, whether you would have batted first or second is not the issue. Because whether batting first or batting second, you have to bat well. Yuan Lane was given his debut to play in his first test match. Should he have been selected ahead of Anderson Phillip? Is another point for debate. I don't know which side of that argument you will come down on. Well, congratulations to the young man. He bowled his 6 overs for only 14 runs, and he looks good in part. As I said, he reminded me of Jaden Seals when Jaden Seals was 21. And I hope that he progresses along the same line or even at a greater intensity. West Indies opened with Chanderpaul and Campbell as expected. And for the first 6 overs, with only 3 fielders in front of the bat, means that 6 fielders were behind the bat. West Indies did not score a single run in that time. A single should say. Yes, they hit some boundaries. Yes, they get some 4 byes and 4 wide and 4 leg by. But not one single West Indies scored in the first 6 overs. In the first 10 overs, there were only 2 singles, although there were only 3 fielders in front of the bat. Therefore, Bumrah and Siraj was allowed to whir the batsmen over because there was no rotation of the strike. They were always bowling to the same batsman, especially for those first 6 overs. It may well have gone beyond 6 overs. I think we got the first single after 8.2 overs. And that I was not surprised that our batsmen start falling like a pack of domino. First to go was Tagenarine Chanderpaul. Go away. I catch him. Look at Tagenarine Chanderpaul dismissal. I want you to look at that ball where it started. Go away. Oh, sorry about that. That ball was already outside the line of his body. Could take it back a little for you. So you see, look at that ball. Look where it is outside the line of his body. If you look at that ball clearly, I know you're not seeing leg stump, but if you put in another set of stumps, that ball was not challenging those set of stumps. That ball was clearly outside the line of his body. As you saw there, it's in line with where Bumrah was landing from the other end when he was bowling round the wicket to the left-hander. That's how wide that ball was. Yet still, for some reason, which I can't explain, Chanderpaul played the ball to the keeper. I just can't explain what happened. He looks around, but look how far from his body, from his eye, he's playing that ball in the first hour of a test match. As an opening batsman, in the first hour of a test match, you are looking to leave as many deliveries as possible. And if you are going to be playing at such a wide ball, one really has to question your technique. One really has to question how comes? How comes? Look at that ball, how it is wide. First morning of a test match, first hour of a test match, as an opening batsman, what is Chanderpaul doing playing at a delivery that is so wide from his body? I could understand if the ball had started about mid-stump, mid and off, and was andering down, and he was trying to tickle it around the corner, and he got a gloves to it. It would have still been a poor shot, but it was more understandable. At least the ball started in line with the stumps. This one was clearly outside the line of the leg stump by a long, long, long way for an opening batsman to be playing a shot at that ball at the start of a match, a test match. I could also understand that if he tried to pull and he got a gloves and it goes through to the keeper, then I could say I understand that too. But this was an absolute nothing shot from a West Indies opening batsman. We all know that Chanderpaul was playing minor league cricket up to probably a week and a half ago. And I asked myself the question, and it's something that we should probably discuss. Wasn't it a case for West Indies to pull him from the minor league, where he was hardly scratching his age, if he makes his age any at all? You know, so that's something that we could expand on probably at another time. But this was a nothing shot from Tej Narayan Chanderpaul. Once again, throwing up 11 deliveries and gone for naught. But then John Campbell. Look at John Campbell. What I want you to look at is how a delivery outside the off stump, and the West Indies opener is playing to leg. Once again, I at the risk of repeating myself, it's the opening morning of a test match. And here is my West Indies opener playing to leg. This is elite international cricket. This is a lack of basic technique. How comes the first morning of a test match and my opener is playing to leg? My opening batsman is playing to leg. How comes? The ball outside the half stump and the West Indies opener is playing to leg? Please, just present the full face of the bat. You know, if he had presented the full face of the bat to that ball, it is very unlikely that it would have gone behind the wicket to be out caught by the keeper. Unlikely. Well, certainly it wouldn't have been out caught by the keeper because you'd have gotten a bigger portion of the bat, maybe gully. But that was also very unlikely. If he had just present the full face of the bat to the delivery, the full face, just present the full face of the bat to the delivery. And these are the things that I just cannot understand, you know. I cannot understand. If you look at his right leg, because he's a left-hander, you see that even is a left-hander, right? So it's his right leg. So if you looked at that, even his right leg is outside the line of the half stump. And I know I was speaking to some persons on Sunday. And yes, some Jamaicans. Where I was at a gentleman. It was his birthday celebration. By the way, I must tell you that I am in big trouble, you know. I am in serious trouble because I told you yesterday that Mrs. Brown's birthday was today. I got it wrong, you know. I got it wrong. Mrs. Brown's birthday is actually tomorrow. So I'm telling you, that's one of the reasons why this show was late. It's the reason why we did not have the interview with the persons from USA, former person from USA Cricket Association, but we'll get to it. Yes, but I'm in big trouble. You can understand what I am going through right now for forgetting my wife's birthday, thinking that it was today instead of tomorrow. And many of those persons who I was speaking to on Sunday, they want John Campbell to fail. And it's run so deep. And it doesn't mean that they don't want West Indies to win, but they want John Campbell to fail. And since morning, I have to hang up my phone on a few of them because I take no pleasure in John Campbell being dismissed. I understand the sentiments why they want him to fail, and these persons are Jamaicans, but I take no pleasure. I take no pleasure, and I know some persons might be upset with me, and they would have been happy to see the West Indies opener playing to leg from a ball that pitched outside his off stump and being out caught behind the wicket. But then, if John Campbell played a poor shot, if Tej Narain, Chanderpaul played a poor shot, what was Brandon King doing? What was Brandon King doing? Can somebody tell me what was Brandon King doing? I cannot understand what Brandon King was doing. It must be a brain fade. Now, I want you to remember where Chanderpaul delivery started. Much wider than King delivery. Look at this. You see where that delivery touching down? Isn't that delivery touching down on just outside the half stump? Everyone can see that that ball is coming in to the batsman. Even a baby can see that that ball is coming into the batsman, and he stood there looking at the pitch, but the pitch does nothing. It's a brain fade. It's a failure in techniques. I strongly believe that mental resilience is a part of technique. When you make a mistake, is the technique fail? It's not. The lapse in concentration is caused by a failure of technique. Is that there's no mental resilience. The ball was coming straight to the stump. Look at the ball. Look at it. You know, just try to run it through. Look at it. Straight at the stump. And it hit me. It doesn't even hit off stump. It didn't hit off stump, you know. It didn't. See there? The ball was always coming in. In fact, in this over, I think Mohamed Siraj bowled about 3 or 4 in-swinger to him. You know why that is? Do you know why he bowled so many in-swinger to him? Look at that. Just hitting a good length is the point that I've always made. It's a point I've always made. I said it on so many occasions. West Indies batsmen can't bat deliveries that pitch on a good line and on a good length. And so international bowlers around the world, they now know that all you have to do to the West Indies batsmen is to hit a good era, and sooner or later, your technique will crumble and you will get their wicket. It's as simple as that. Hit a good line, hit a good length, ball after ball, ball after ball. And most West Indies batsmen, well, not most, all West Indies batsmen will not survive 50 deliveries if you are hitting there. They will not. They will not. And 50 is high, but I always try to be conservative. And so I show you 3 wickets. 3 wickets. None of those batsmen should have been out. None, not one. Not one of those batsmen should have been out. And then it was Athanaze's turn, driving off the hop and then blaming his bat. No foot movement, standing up straight. You saw that? Standing up straight, no foot movements, driving off the up. Look how straight it is. No bending of the right knee. Absolutely no bending of the right knee. Foot nowhere near the line of the ball. And he just driving off the up again on the first session of a test match. Why can't these guys understand that they need to leave the ball alone? Why? Why they don't understand that in the morning of a test match, they need to leave as many deliveries as possible? I will never understand. But Athanaze, look at that. Driving at a ball off the up, his feet nowhere, well, let's say his foot, his right foot nowhere near the line of the ball. He doesn't reach the pitch of the ball. But in the opening session of a test match, where the West Indies captain said that is, although there's moisture in the pitch, he doesn't want to bat last on that pitch. And in some essence, that's a good reason. That's a good thought process. Because I understand the thought process. Look how far his bat is from his body. And that bat again going towards leg, isn't it? When you look at this section, his bat going towards leg. Oh, but that, no, well, probably not. You know? Extravagant, and the ball just lob into the man at slip. When the West Indies captain said, we are going to bat first because we don't want to bat on that pitch last, I think that he's saying to his opener, the first hour, the first session belongs to India. If we have 30 without loss, 40 without loss at lunch, we're good with that. That's how the test cricket play now. If you expect this pitch to crumble, and you saw how easy it was when India was batting, was it easier, or was our bowling just not as skillful as India? I think it was easy. I don't think India bowled well. I think we gave away our wickets. I've shown you 4 batsmen getting out, and none of them, up to this time, you can say, well, they were out by a good delivery. None of them up to this time. So he can look at his bat as much as he wants, but it's not the bat. It's not the bat. So when the captain said that, that's what he's saying. He's saying the first 2 hours belongs to India. If I'm 30 without loss, 40 for 1 at lunch, I'm good. Just bat out that session, and then we incrementally increase the run rate out throughout the day. And by after lunch tomorrow, we are 200 for 3, then we press gas. We press gas. You know, at 200, 250, 260 for 3. You know, but it never worked out. Then after Athanaze, it was time for the very best batsman in the West Indies, according to some. Technically he's the best batsman going around in the West Indies. That's what I've heard a lot. But look at him. Look at him. This was the final over before lunch. An absolute failure of technique. Look at that. What the hell was he doing? Jaden Seals couldn't understand. What was Shai Hope doing, Lord? Can somebody tell me? Look at that again. I just don't understand. I don't know how to describe that. Honestly, I don't know how to describe that. It's probably just like Brandon King, another brain fade. The man drive outside the line of the ball. Don't you see that? Outside the line of the ball, the man drive. Outside the line of the ball. Outside the line. No inside edge. Absolutely no inside edge. The man just drive. I don't even know if it is drive. What kind of shot is that? Look where his foot position. Look where the bat going. The only thing that is in line is his head. But look where the bat going. Look at his foot position. Eh? Oh, man, look at that. It's the last over before lunch. Look at that. Chase got a single off the first ball. And look at that. So I've shown you 5 of the West Indies top 7 batsmen. Now, I don't have any clippings for the others. Maybe I'll show you them another time, the other 2. Now, the bowlers are all right. The bowlers are picked to bowl. From 8 to 11 are picked to bowl. You understand? I wanted to show you Chase dismissal, but as I said, I don't have the clipping. Chase dismissal, I heard the Indian commentator say brilliant delivery. Wrong. If you look back at Chase dismissal again, you see a West Indies batsman playing to leg when the ball is on the outside half stump. Look back at Chase dismissal if you can get a chance to look back at it. The ball was clearly outside the half stump and another West Indies batsman playing to leg. Greaves got a beautiful Yorker after making 30 from Bumrah. No fault. You can't, if you're going to nitpick, you would say that he need to cut out the twirl, but then it was a good delivery, and most batsmen will be out to that delivery that Greaves got from Bumrah. And if all 7 batsmen had got big deliveries, like the one that Greaves got out and we got bowled out for 160, I think, and we got bowled out for 160, I wouldn't have an issue. I would have no issue with that. If the batsmen who got out had got big deliveries, not necessarily like the Yorker that Greaves get, but big deliveries. But from all of those 5 dismissals that I show you, those deliveries should not be getting out international elite batsmen. Or is it that they are no longer elite batsmen, but they are playing this game at an international elite level? Probably. So none of those batsmen, including Chase, who stuck around for 24, he again played to on when the ball pitched outside the half stump. When I look at the West Indies batting yesterday, you know, last night, who impressed me the most? Is actually Carripier impressed me the most, Carripier was so balanced at the crease. He waited on the ball to come to him. And I know that persons love to misinterpret things, and they're going to say, all right, send Carripier, go open. Sometimes your reason baffles me. I'm not saying that. I'm saying of all the batsmen at the crease last night, the one I had most confidence in was Carripier. Absolutely. Greaves batted and made 30, got a wonderful delivery, but I have the most confidence, the man that looks the most like he knows what he's doing to me last night. Yes, that's the only man last night looked like he knows what he was doing to me last night. It was the only West Indies batsman that was not leading with his foot, but was leading with his head. Now, even if you look back at the dismissal at John Campbell got himself into that position because he was leading with his right leg and not his head. If he was leading with his head, he would have played the ball right under his nose and his back. Well, they said I must stop give coaching advice. All right. So, but it was a very, very disappointing. I'll run through the West Indies scorecard before I take your comments. So let me run through the West Indies scorecard. John Campbell faced 19 deliveries and he made 8 runs. He hit 2 fours. Tagenarine Chanderpaul faced 11 deliveries and he made 0. Alec Athanaze, 24 deliveries. He hit 2 fours. He made 12. Brandon King, he made 13, faced 15 deliveries and hit 3 fours. So out of the 13, so you see that the West Indies batsmen weren't running. So let me show you. Campbell, 8 runs, 2 fours. Chanderpaul not, so he didn't run any. Alec Athanaze, 12 runs, 2 fours, and he got a 2 the ball before he got out. Somebody said to me that if they had run 3, then he would not be on strike and he would not have gotten out. Was 3 there? Up for debate, but I understand what the person is saying. Brandon King, 13. 3 fours, 12 out of the 13. West Indies batsmen weren't interested in running. Raston Chase, 24. 4 fours. That's 16 out of the 24. Shai Hope, 26. 3 fours. They start to get a little more singles now when Hope and Chase were batting. Justin Greaves, 32, 4 fours. Carey Pierre, 11. He faced 34 deliveries. 34 deliveries Carey Pierre faced. And he batted soundly. I'm not going to say that he batted good or great, but he batted soundly. He looks assured at the crease coming at number 8. So, and he faced 34 deliveries. He batted for almost 50 minutes. Jamel Warrican, he made 8. He hit 1-4. Yohan Lane got a beauty from Bumrah. Yohan Lane is not going to survive those deliveries. Last night I heard Jaden Seals made 6. He was not out 6. This morning I heard Bishop saying that Yohan Lane is an all-rounder. Bishop, if you're not watching the cricket, don't talk foolishness, man. Don't talk foolishness, right? You can't talk in foolishness on the international media. What has Yohan Lane ever done in cricket, Ian Bishop, for you to be referring to him as an all-rounder? What has he ever done? What has he ever done? I think there was a match, I think I was against Ireland emerging players, that he came and he swung his bat and make a few runs. What has he ever done apart from that? And clearly that was just a case where a number 10, because remember I said that every dog has their day out. We saw Tino Best making 90 and so on. That make Tino Best an all-rounder. So Ian Bishop, if you're not watching the cricket, man, don't talk things that you don't know, man. Yohan Lane have done nothing, absolutely nothing to be called an all-rounder. So get your facts right, Ian Bishop, before you make those comments, right? But in fact, truly last night, Carey Pierre looked the most assured West Indies batsman to me. Good morning, everyone. I saw there's a lot of comments here. Good morning, Sheldon. Bobby Buns, good morning, my friend. How you doing, man? Sammy is an imbecile. The batting was not this poor under Kohli. These guys look high, like high schoolers. Now, Bobby, let me back up what you said, Bobby, because I wasn't going to go there because I wasn't going to make any comment before the end of the series. But just the sheer numbers back you up. Now, we know that a player like Brandon King is in his debut season, right? Of all the batsmen, West Indies batsmen have batted 7 innings. 7 innings since Sammy took over as coach. All of those batsmen, except for those who are the debutant, because they would not have an average before. All of those batsmen average is lower since Sammy took over as head coach. Those are just the facts. Whether you're Sammy out or you're Sammy in, those are the undeniable facts. For the 7 innings that West Indies batsmen played, all of them who have been playing Test cricket before, their average have gone lower since Darren Sammy took over as coach. None of them have made half their highest total except for John Campbell, who, as you know, doesn't even has a century in Test cricket. So you can understand if John Campbell wasn't making half his highest score, he would have been very poor. So none of the other batsmen, the Shai Hope, the Ruston Chase, the Craig Brathwaite, the Tej Narayan Chanderpaul, you name it. All of those, the Alec Athanaze, the Louis, all of the batsmen we have played, except for John Campbell, none of them have scored half of their highest total. You don't expect batsmen to score their highest runs, their highest total every day. But since Darren Sammy took over, except for John Campbell, none of the batsmen have scored half their highest total in Test cricket. And every single one of them average have gone lower under Darren Sammy. Every single one of them. Those are just the undeniable facts. I wasn't going to touch it. I wanted to wait until the end of the series. And hopefully that changed. Because that's one of the reasons why I wanted it to wait until the end of the series. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to wait on the end of the series to touch it. Because I'm hoping that it will change by the end of the series. But it's a, you know. So, Bobby, a certain coach was trying to get them to last 5 days. You know, but that's not a bad thing. And is that a certain coach? Is that a certain coach? It's not a certain coach, you know. I know where your thought process is. You wanted to say Simmons was trying to get them to last 5 days, but so too was Kohli. You heard the talk from Bradway that they are trying to bat 110 overs in their first innings, and you hear that talk, you know, and so it was an effort. But you know, good morning to you, Carlton. Amen. I think the batters need to play time at the crease. They can't, Carlton. Amen. That's the point I'm making. They can't. They can't, you know, Carlton. Amen. It doesn't matter what we think. They can't. How many times must I said it that West Indies batsmen are averaging 10 runs to deliveries that pitch in a good era? So that means they can't spend time off the wicket. They do not have the basic fundamental skills to spend time at the wicket. So I know all of them want to spend time at the wicket. We want them to spend time at the wicket, but they can't. They do not have the basic fundamental skills to spend time off the wicket. And international bowlers the world over knows this. So they just come in and try to hit the top of half stump, and they know that West Indies will make 200. So no matter how we try, no matter how we try, no matter how we want it, no matter how we want it, yeah? No matter how we want it, they can't. They just can't. Ball and six stumped and flashing at that in a test, you know. What is shift teaching Tage? Said Sheldon. I don't know. Tage was playing minor cup before West Indies called him and said, we're going to Pakistan. We're going to India. After we made it 27, the director of cricket, Mr. Bascom, said that they are going to send the persons who are not involved in CPL, they are going to send them as an advance party to India to let them get some practice down there. That should have been done. They never done it. And hopefully Tage would have been one of those persons, you know. But whether you play minor league cricket, test cricket, or bush cricket, you can't out Tage Narayan out, man. You know? Yeah, it's simple as that, Bobby. If he had got the gloves and it goes through to the keeper, I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that. I'd prefer him not to pull though, being it so early in the test match. I'd prefer, because the ball started outside his leg stump, you know, as you saw far, the ball started outside his leg stump. When the man saw that ball, man, the man should have just taken guard. Halfway through the ball coming towards the man should have taken guard. I don't know how he ends up playing at that ball. His fundamentals are poor. Yeah. Sammy has to face responsibility for these crimes. So what are you saying, Bobby? We should lock him up when he comes to Jamaica? Because these are crime against the Caribbean people. you will hear about insularity, Bobby, and we are not insular in Jamaica, man. But you know, but those are the truth. So I want the president of Cricket West Indies now to come and tell me that I'm insular when I laid out the facts earlier. You know, it's yeah. Bobby said at the top, I realized that you went to bed, Bobby, because I stopped seeing you in the groups. I definitely realized, you know. The low cricket IQ still remains. Tage kept playing down the leg side multiple times. He got away with it several times, some going for 4, just missing the fingers of the keeper, said Mr. Casanova. It's just low. It's the basic fundamentals they lack. I believe as a whole, West Indies had a batting endemic for over 20 years, and a couple of our players were able to rise above it, but a lot of our guys can't, or will it take them longer to improve, said Orlando Paul. I know Louis and Aj would do a better job. Louis, Bobby? Louis? I have no faith in Louis. I have no confidence. Well, you have confidence in Louis. I don't have any confidence. I don't have any confidence in it in Louis at all. You know, I have no confidence in Louis any at all. It's Hodge, yes, of course. Mr. Casanova, John Campbell was dead, man. He was dead. He was dead. He was dead. Or there's nothing to show that he wasn't dead. You know that John Campbell was walking though, because he knows he edged the ball. John Campbell was walking. He knows he edged the ball, man. Mr. Casanova, it was a 50-50. You know that I would be one of the first person to say it was 50-50. But he was dead. Answer Springer, it will get worse. It will get worse. I'm telling you. As Carl Hooper said, we can go lower. I know the trouble are in. I know the trouble you are in. Just shut up and listen to her. Don't say a word. Oh, it is I. Okay, cool. Yes, it is I. Thanks for the advice. Thank you very much for the advice, you know. And it is I is talking about my wife's birthday. You recall yesterday I told you that today is my wife's birthday, and it's not today, it's tomorrow. So I got myself in a lot of trouble this morning. Absolutely a lot of trouble. Yes, the bowling, you see the difference between you and I, Deeb I, and you're probably from India. The difference between you and I is that I talk about what happened on the day. I don't talk about reputation. You know? Yes, there are times when you are talking about reputation, like before the match, and you were discussing the quality of the Indian bowling compared to the West Indies. Then you talk about reputation. But yesterday, in this match, last night, India bowling was ordinary. Their bowling was ordinary. And that is different from the reputation of the bowlers. But they're bowling, and that's the difference. That's why I can pivot from one position to the other. Because as the information changes, my opinion around the information changes. So, yes, the bowling, India bowling last night was ordinary, which is a different perspective than to say the Indian bowling is ordinary. I hope you can understand that. You know, King don't know where his stumps are. Brandon King look ill-prepared and clueless. They made Mohamed Siraj look like a world-class bowler. I think that he's a world-class bowler, Mohamed Siraj. He is. I would consider him a world-class bowler. Was he bowling at a world-class level last night? No. Look back at those deliveries that get the wicket. Bumrah bowl a world-class delivery to Greaves. He bowled one to Lane. I remember those 2 deliveries. Carry Pierre just miss a straight delivery again. You know, so you know, so the bowling last night, India did not bowl well enough last night to have bowled out West Indies for 160. They never did. They never did. No, that's just excuse about they are still in T20 mode. Leave alone and end up like Brandon King. Those errors they made, they would get away with it in our domestic game. We need to up the standard of our domestic game tournament. No. The standard of our domestic game just doesn't improve unless the players master the basics, master the fundamentals. How many times must I say it? West Indies batting cannot improve for the next 3 to 5 years. Cannot. Yes, maybe that is too drastic, because a 1% improvement is an improvement. But so let's say substantial improvement. West Indies batting will not improve substantially for the next 3 to 5 years. And any improvement in our batting will require dedicated players who love the game, who, like Steve Smith, was warming up. And when he was finished, he batted for 40 minutes. And when he was facing the last 3 deliveries, he got out. And he said, boy, me got out, so he have to bat another 40 minutes. You know, unless we have that mindset, we need to cut out of this local 15 minutes training. And we walk around with like boil on our arm. We have to cut out that and start working on the boring things day after day, day after day. And that's the only way it's going to be improved. We just do not practice the basic hard enough. I really don't have no expectation with this side, consider who is in it. There's no one in the West Indies can bat Kevin Joseph. No one. No one in the West Indies can bat in red ball cricket. We have a few batsmen who are capable of batting in white ball cricket. But there's no batsman in the West Indies. So it's not a matter of who they pick. You can, when it comes to test cricket, you can put some names in a hat and spin it around and take out the 6 that you want to play. We have no good batsmen, no good red ball batsmen in the West Indies, no matter who you play. No matter who you play. I think they will bat better in the second innings. Randy Beckers, I do hope so. I definitely hope so. As a West Indian supporters, you want to see that. I am asking. You know, last night I look at the averages of the West Indies batsmen, all of them average. And I look at it where Carey Pierre and Yuan Lane made their debut. At the beginning, I said Yuan Lane, but it's Carey Pierre and Yuan Lane. And I look at all the batsmen average. And I said, if each one of them just made 10 runs above their average, West Indies made 320. Just give me 10 runs above your average, and West Indies made 320 last night. You know, and to me, that's a first step. That's a first target, I think, that every batsman should have in their head. 10 runs above her average. So Campbell would make 30 odd. Chanderpaul would make 40 odd. Athanaze would make 30 odd. Brandon King would make 29. Chase would make 36. Shai Hope would make 34. You know, and we'd get 320. If every batsman just give us 10 runs above their average. You see how low me carry the standard go? How low me carry the standard go? You know, I carry the standard goal very low. Is our approach wrong? Sheldon, that question is too broad. You'll have to narrow down exactly what, because, so if you narrow down, I can, if I want to open a cricket academy in the Caribbean, can I do it without becoming a citizen? Yes, you can, Mishra. You can open a cricket academy in the Caribbean without becoming a citizen. There are still rules that you have to follow. You have to register with the Company Office of Jamaica and so on, and but you can do it without becoming a citizen. Yeah, just send me an email. My email is in the video description. Send me an email, boss, and it's something that we could definitely look into. Beth said, I have much respect for Pierre after that innings against the Amazon Warriors. He is the kind of youth that he's 34 though, Beth, but I understand what you're saying. He's the kind of youth that has a good future with the right coaching. He's a fighter, gutsy, and full of potential. Yeah, as I said, he was the only batsman that gave me confidence last night when he was batting. I remember Chase's first boundary. His techniques were so awful, you could hear the Indian commentators laughing at him and the disdain in Bishop's voice. Yeah, I wasn't listening. I wasn't listening to commentary at that time, because one of the things, I don't usually listen to commentary. There are times when I may listen to it, but I don't listen to it very often. No, but it is embarrassing, It is even more embarrassing, It is even more embarrassing that Lane is listed as an all-round on the West Indies official match sheet, or is it a website? There's no way the official match sheet of the West Indies is going to list Lane as an all-rounder. Maybe it's a website, maybe Cricinfo or so on. But the West Indies official match sheet, because that would be too embarrassing all on the poll. That would be too embarrassing. And Bishop should know from experience, because he's in this business a long time. He should know from experience that it isn't what he read that is necessarily the truth, but he needs also to do his own research. He should have done that. What's the batting coach doing? The players keep getting out the same exact way. Gerald Music. No, Gerald Music, I made the point, Gerald Music, that the batting coach, the only batting coach that I've seen improve West Indies batsmen by that 1% increment is called Hooper. And they get rid of him. They get rid of him. Shangu said, got to get a good batting coach. The truth is, Shangu, Gerald Music, and all the others, we need the batting to improve, because the batting have regressed. The batting has regressed under Darren Sammy as coach and his staff. However, it's really deeper than that, It's really, the batting is a reflection of what is going on regionally and domestically and in our local cricket tournament and our school systems. It's a reflection of that. It's a big reflection of that. I cringe them kept going at wide balls. I think they need to change the batting order, and that won't help Winston Miller. It does. You can shuffle up the order and put them anyhow. It won't help. It won't help. It won't help. No batting order. These guys just cannot bat. They just cannot bat. Just cannot bat. The only one in this team that averages above 30, is Tej Narayan Chanderpaul. But if you take away, which you can't, so I won't take it away, but let's say, if you look at his average in the last 6 matches, it's in its teens. You know, it's in his teens. If you look at his average, maybe in his last 8 matches, Chanderpaul averages in its teens. These guys just cannot bat. They're averaging 20 and teens. They can't bat. It's as simple as that. They are not red ball batsmen. It's as simple as that. It doesn't matter how you do the order. How can Sammy pick a guy who played 24 test matches and never passed 70? Bobby Brown, the algorithm bot. But Bobby Brown, they said that the preparation went fine. They said that the preparation was the best that they ever had. The ball that Alec flashed at was like 7 stump. Well, I don't know if it was so wide, but it was wide, Mr. Casanova, but I got the point. Sammy in, Sammy out, the batting the same. That is true, Eam. But the point is that at least you want batsmen to be scoring at least their average. You don't want batsmen who under coach, their average is shrinking. That means the team is getting worse. It doesn't matter who coach this West Indies team right now. I am not saying that they will beat India, but it's clear that the batting is getting worse under Sammy, so he must go. The batting is getting worse. Since Darren Sammy started coaching the West Indies team, and if you look at the top 7, 7 is 49. And Bobby, you can tell me, Bobby, help me out here. 49 innings. Our batsmen batted 49 times. Is it 1/2 century or 2? I remember Brandon King owned. I'm trying to remember if John Campbell did get a half century. But in 49 innings, 49 innings, you know. So while I don't think any coach can come and work a miracle, my challenge with Darren Sam is that the batting is getting worse under his stewardship. You know? You know, so that's really my challenge with him. And the champion said, I have a feeling that the Indians were not going to make a spin-friendly wicket. But didn't they play 3 spinners? Kuldeep, Jadeda, and Washington Sundar. They played 3 spinners and 2 seamers and ready to back them up. So, according to Chase, you know, this pitch is going to spin a lot. You know, that's why he didn't want it to bat 4th on it. Despite the layer of grass on it, he thinks that it is going to spin a lot. Well, he's there. I am not there. I have to go by what he said. Big up the champion. Jamor Small, good morning. How are you? You know, big up, man. These batsmen need to be reminded that Test cricket is different to T20 and ODI, said Emmanuel. Only Greaves and O'Hodge has made more than 97. No, that Greaves 100 never came while Sammy was coaching. Greaves hasn't made a half century while Sammy is the coach, has he? I really need to, you know. These guys been getting out the same way for years now. Why they still keeping this batting coach, said Tyrell, you know. Athena, good morning. How you doing? You know. Oh, not the official. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It couldn't be on the official squad sheet. It must be something like, thank you, Athena. Hit the like button. Christopher Bristol, my friend. How you doing, man? Good morning, man. Happy to see you. Happy to see you here, man. Thank you all for tuning in. It's hard to do a watch along in this situation. It's hard to get up 4 o'clock to do a watch along when West Indies losing a match. In Pakistan, it was much better. Christopher Brilliant, big up yourself, Christopher Bristol. I'm glad I can make you laugh. So it's really difficult. So what I'll do tomorrow morning again, I'll try and do a review show. Hopefully, by tomorrow morning, West Indies West Indies is batting. We don't want a case where India bat out the whole of tomorrow, bat until lunch on the third day, put us in, and the match finish in 3 days. Hopefully, we can get them out tomorrow. And so by this time tomorrow, West Indies probably 50 without loss or so on. And we have a bigger, broader smile on my face. Am I hoping against hope? I don't know, but I'm just hoping so. At this point, I'm just hoping that a Saudi Arabian prince will buy West Indies out for $1 billion and fix everything. I am going to look back at the press conference yesterday because somebody called me and said, Mr. Brown, West Indies is singing from your hymnal. Maybe not quite the way you'd want it, but they're singing from your hymnal. So I really need to look back at that press conference and see, you know, and I'd be very happy. Not that I'm going to say, well, boy, I am instigating West Indies policy. I'm happy from the point of view that I think that the things that I said, the recommendations that I made are things that I thought out carefully, and I think that they will help West Indies cricket. So even if they're implementing 1 or 2 of them, I'll be happy. I'll be happy. And if they're implementing 10 things, and 3 of those things are positions that I have mooted, I would be happy. And I will still support the other 7. You know, so let's see. I'm going to really go back at that, you know. Mr. Brown, many teams play 2 wicket keepers who could bat. So why Tevin Imlach is among to the best 5 batsmen in 4-day regional championship not playing? Could you please answer this question for me? The thing about it, you know, I would have played Tevin Imlach. So you're probably asking the wrong person. I would have played Tevin Imlach from against Australia. However, Colin Goodridge, you know the thing, and you heard me say that none of the man them can bat. Tevin Imlach played 2 matches in Pakistan. He did, you know, but he did like what everybody are doing. He did what everybody are doing. And I made a point, I would have played Imlach against Australia. So I said that's second. But all of the West Indies batsmen are just the same. In those 4 innings in Pakistan, should Imlach have scored like a 60 or a 70, there's no way he could have been dropped against Australia. So although I would pick him, Sammy didn't see his performances in Pakistan as outstanding. So he's just in the pool of players. He's just in the pool of players. He has not separated himself from the rest. And once you have not separated yourself from the rest, it really comes down to the luck of the draw. Because none of them just can't bat in red ball cricket. In international red ball cricket, none of them just cannot bat. You know? Yes, review is good enough. Don't break your nerves for West Indies. No, I'm good. I'm good, Christopher Bristol. Thank you for the suggestion. Have a wonderful day, everyone. I know I don't read every comment, but you'll appreciate. I just can't read every comment. I thank you for your comment. I thank you for putting them forward. Oh, please remember to check out our sponsors. I forget, M&M is a sponsor of this morning's show. You may scan the QR code or you may click the link in the video description and also visit the Cricket Forum store in the video description. Take care of yourself. Take care of your loved ones. I have a lot of making up to do and hope that